Martin, thanks very much for the time being. Well, we have now spoken to the family of Mark Duggan. Our correspondent, Enda Brady, spoke to Shaun Hall, Mark Duggan's older brother, a short time ago. This is what he had to say.
Shaun, just say and spell your name on the tape for me, please.
Shaun Hall, S-H-A-U-N H-A-L-L.
Okay, and you are Mark's brother? Older brother?
Older brother, yes.
Okay. Shaun, first of all, just on behalf of your family, just tell me how you were feeling, giving everything that has happened over the past week.
We're all devastated at the loss of our brother, our son, our cousin, our friends. He's got a vast amount of friends. We're all devastated to hear about the mishap. We don't actually know what has actually happened. I suppose that is what is the most brilliant thing for us at the moment, is nobody's actually come forward and told us this is what has taken place, whether we believe what they're saying or whether we don't. There should be somebody here putting my parents' mind at rest about what is actually going on. Like I said, the whole family's devastated. We don't want Mark portrayed as some kind of gangster. He's a family man, as you see from the true pictures that you'll see of him now.
What do you say to the allegation that a police officer was shot at?
I think it's rubbish. I think it's rubbish. I know my brother's not that sort of person. He's not stupid to shoot after the police. That's ridiculous.
You've seen what happened last night and into the early hours of today. What do you say to anyone who seeks to go and create scenes like that in your brother's name? We're
not condoning any kind of actions like that at all to be shown or for this to be taken in my brother's name. I've been listening to a lot of the news today where it seems to be the press who are generally saying that it is linked to my brother. Okay, there was some questions were supposed to have been answered. They weren't answered. Therefore, there was a domino effect from that, which we don't condone at all.
Would you take the opportunity now to speak to people in Tottenham? What would you say to them just for the next couple of nights? What would you say to people in Tottenham?
I know people are frustrated, they're angry out there at the moment, but I would say please try to hold it down. And please don't make this a bearing on my brother's life. My brother was a good man.
Thanks, Shaun.
Thank you. Thanks
very much.
Shaun Hall there, Mark Duggan's brother, speaking to Enda Brady. Enda's able now to join us live from Tottenham. Enda, family clearly still in shock at what happened on Thursday night, but a family who still very much want answers.
It's a family that is utterly devastated by what has happened. I spoke to Mark Duggan's father. He couldn't actually speak. He just said he needed to get some rest because he's really struggling to make sense of what happened on Thursday. So it was left to Mark's brother, Shaun Hall, to come and speak to us. He made his point there. The family say they want people to recognise what they're saying today. They do not in any way condone what has happened here last night and into the early hours of this morning. The family say this is not being done in their name or in their son's name, and they're appealing for people to remain calm. The family just wants some information. They want the truth to come out, and they say that Mark was a loving family member, a good son, a good cousin and a good brother and a good father. And they say they just want the truth about what happened on Thursday to come out, and they say they will speak to the police and they will cooperate with any investigation. But the key point they wanted to get across was to anyone watching or listening and who feels last night was the start of something, the family do not want any more wrongdoing or violence carried out in the name of their son. They feel this is utterly wrong and they do not in any way condone it.
The family have lost a man who was clearly a loved family member. How much harder has the violence last night made it for them, do you think?
Well, they're utterly devastated. They're very much aware of what has gone on last night and into the early hours of this morning. They're grieving. Mark's mother was asleep and his father just said he needed to go and get some rest. They're struggling to comprehend everything that has gone on since Thursday, and they can certainly do without everything that has happened in the past 24 hours, they say. But the one message they asked me to convey was that they really want this all to stop now and for last night to be the end of it. as far as they're concerned, they understand that people are feeling angry. They understand that people in the community will feel frustrated, but they do not wish people to take that frustration out on anyone. They just want some answers, and the family have asked now to be left to grieve in privacy.
I suppose, Enda, the big question is, are people listening to what they're saying? Are the people who committed the violence last night actually sort of tuned in to what this family's feeling?
Well, speaking to friends of Mark Duggan's today, they were at pains to point out to me that all of the wrongdoing last night, they didn't recognise any of these people, and they say that this was the work of others that, you know, infiltrated the area, came from other parts of the community. They say that there was not last night connected to them that had anything to do with this, and they did urge people listening to just take on board the family's feelings in all of this, and they want this to be an end now. They do not condone what happened last night. They have enough to be dealing with as a family, grieving and preparing for a funeral. They just simply wish it to end now.
Enda, for the moment, thanks very much. Well, Sky's Jane Duggan is also just up the road in Tottenham. She's able to join us live as well. And Jane, where you are, a lot of people have been left homeless. What help are they getting this afternoon?
There's been nothing official arranged for many of them, but the people who I've spoken to, apparently there's not a massive amount of people who have been left completely homeless, whose homes have been completely destroyed, but many of them have had to move out of their homes or their flats for 1 or 2 nights, just while the fire brigades make sure that the buildings are structurally safe. That's why they're still here and still damping down. One woman I spoke to, however, her home has been completely destroyed. She lived in a flat above Allied Carpets, which has been it's almost collapsed completely, and her home, she says, as she knows it, has just disappeared, and all of the property inside it. Lots of local people have been coming down here throughout the course of today to see the damage, the extent of the damage for themselves, although it has been raining, which has sent many of them home, and the police are saying that they're hoping that it remains wet throughout the course of the night so that people stay off the streets and that there isn't a repeat of last night. But just to give you an example of some of the damage that's taken place, if we have a look, you can probably see the remains of 2 police cars that were stolen at some point yesterday, brought down here and then set on fire. They're almost unrecognisable, actually. They've been burnt out to such an extent. They're worried that the road surface underneath it might be damaged and may have to be repaired. But that's just those cars. There's been a massive amount of damage to many of the buildings just across the whole of Tottenham High Road, which is why so many people have had to move out of their homes and why so many businesses may lose profits because of it.
Jane, thanks very much for the update. This is Sky News. On our website, skynews.com, read eyewitness accounts of how the